My last thing on here was like, when is status worth it? I.e. point stacking through shopping port list. So I didn't really get to hear your take on that. It's just, I just mentioned that because it's something I've been kind of interested in lately, just as like, hey, if I can get the status mostly through everyday spend without having to feel like I'm taking routes that are inconvenient or cost too much money just because I want to maintain status with a particular airline, if I can keep myself in check, I might do that occasionally, depending on if I find that status actually is enhancing my travel experience. So, I'm partly doing it because it's fun, honestly. Like stacking points is fun, and plug for Matt Clausen's series now on stacking points. What a cool show! Like that's part of what makes this hobby so cool. Is like, the banks aren't advertising that. Like that kind of terminology is something that this community came up with. And,
right.
So I just wanted to offer gratitude to everyone who has been watching. Another reminder to please like this video. Three of us have a lot of content about domestic travel. And all of these topics are really nicely connected. A lot of, like you were saying, Dugras, that the traveling with your family in Player 2, for me, I mean, that's a big reason why so much of our travel has been domestic, is because we're often visiting friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of friends and family abroad yet.
Yeah, I don't have any. So
that would be nice though, because then that would kind of give us a little bit more of an excuse to do some more international travel. And I love international travel, but yeah, sometimes it's more accessible to do domestically, and it does take a little bit more, more planning and shrewdness to keep that from, those expenses from ballooning out of control. Because I don't know what it is, but traveling in the States is just expensive. I don't know, especially when you're adding rental cars into the mix and everything. Like I know Europe is not cheap, but at least you can get around by trains and transit, and so one of the things I've been obsessed with, and I think it plays in. I want to see what will enhance domestic travel.
Yeah.
It seems like there's so many fewer hacks. There's so many fewer sweet spots with miles and points redemptions.
Maybe a good way to say it is like with domestic travel, you have to try a lot harder to get epic value. If you're flying transatlantic in business class with points, odds are you're already getting tremendous value just from that one thing. So I don't think it's any secret that I'm kind of a free agent. Airline status I don't go for at all. I mean, I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and it's not a hub for anyone. So you just take the flight you can get. I mean, when I was going to New Orleans, there was only two good ways to get there. You either fly up to Minneapolis and then back down on Delta, or out to Denver and down on United. Oof. So there's no direct flight. And I did one of each. I did one on the way there, one on the way back. So, am I going to chase Delta status when a quarter of my flights are in Delta? Am I going to chase United flights status when a quarter of my flights are with United? I mean, honestly, right now it's probably Delta, American, and Southwest are about evenly divided at maybe 30% each, and then United picks up the last 10%. So who am I going to go for status with? Southwest, who I fly once a year and kind of hate it just because it's going to the place I need to go. So yeah, status on an airline's not that big a deal for me. And I don't know that I would really chase hotel status, although I'm happy to get a credit card that gets it for me automatically. So like Hilton Gold to me is like good enough. And it does what I need to do, which I get automatically with the Surpass. So that's my status.
Yeah, I'm messing with it just for fun, mostly, and just for the science of it. Just like, okay, well, let's just compare these different loyalty programs, and
yeah, if you're having fun, go for it.
And just see, okay, does this actually elevate my experience? I mean, food and beverage credit is nice. To me, like that's a perk more than like a status recognition. I guess
Mhm.
like status recognition is like, do I get an upgrade? Do I get a welcome amenity? Um, you know, is it easier to reach customer service when I need something resolved? I have seen that come in handy. I'll leave this here. Like, okay, so I've been working on Hyatt status, and I don't know if it's worth it, but I've been, it's just part of my science of like,
Mhm.
hey, let's check this out. And I had the Hyatt Centric in New Orleans. I ended up canceling that because I had some other stuff to redeem at
Mhm.
other properties, but I was within the cancellation window, and so I called up the hotline for status members, and the agent I spoke to, she was able to do this workaround. She's like, well, yeah, if I cancel your reservation, you're going to have to pay that one night penalty. What I can do is I can change your reservation to move it out so that it's out of the cancellation window and then cancel. I never would have thought of that. And I thought, how cool is it that a customer service rep is giving me a hack, is like telling me about, and then
Mhm.
doing this hack for me so that I wouldn't have to pay cancellation fee. To me, that is a great example of status recognition,
Do
allowing me, especially making it easier to actually cancel reservation. I think is cool.
did you have Globalist?
Yeah, I do. I did like I have like Globalist Light, what they call it, where it was this like corporate, my company is,
Ah, yeah, I've heard of it.
yeah, it's similar to when Built had that status challenge.
Mhm.
And most recently, it was offered to American Airlines elites. I think even of just like the basic gold level, I think were given the opportunity to do that 20 night. It's like 20 nights in 90 days and get Globalist. Uh,
Mhm.
It's called Globalist Light because you don't get any of those very significant and lucrative milestone awards that you get between nights 20 and 60. I'm
Yeah.
still deciding whether I want a mattress run to get those last few to get to 40 for this year so that I could get a sweet upgrade award for next year. But I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I had to do enough mattress running to make that 20 work. And as it stands, I honestly don't know if I'm going to break even next year, especially
Mm.
because I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to maintain globalists, um, in any year. Like getting to 20 was hard enough, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you get to 40, then 40 is pretty cool because then um, you get guest of honor and you get suite upgrade. So you'll have those two that you could use for yourself. So you could use guest of honor to gift yourself a globalist status for a stay somewhere, and you could use the suite upgrade award.
You get guest of honor that you can gift to yourself or anyone for one stay, right?
Yeah, for one stay.
You
So
don't get like permanent guest of honor.
oh yeah, yeah, for
Okay.
one stay, but it could be a week long stay.
Right?
So anyway, never say never, but I have the mindset right now that it's just for the science of it. Like, okay, we'll focus on Hyatt next year while also still having one or two Hilton free night certs that I got to use and however many Delta stays credits I got to use and, an IHG free night and my 35,000 point Marriott night I got to use from the Boundless card. And so, and, the travel credit on my Venture X card, which I'll probably use on a hotel. Although, maybe it's better to use it on a flight. I used it on a flight for last year.